Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Love Yourself to Health podcast. My name is Alyssa, and I'll be here each week teaching you how to build a body that you genuinely love. As women, we have been taught so much misinformation about what our bodies should look like, how we should eat, and how we should work out. And I'm here to dispel all the myths and to teach you how to feel better, eat more without gaining weight, and to build a toned, lean, feminine physique, all without dieting, endless hours of cardio, or beating yourself up for getting off track. Here, we're all about treating our bodies with love and respect, and of course, having fun along the way. Hello, and welcome back to the Love Yourself to Health podcast. My name is Alyssa, and I am your host. I don't think I've ever started my podcast that way, but now you know. It's Alyssa. Welcome. So today we are talking about a very popular challenge called 75 Hard. Now, I don't know about you, but I have seen this challenge absolutely everywhere. I have a few friends who've done it. I've seen a lot of people I follow on Instagram do it, and I have some thoughts on it, and I just wanted to kind of talk about that here. And I think it's just a really good way to discuss, I guess, any types of challenges or, even diets, even like pretty intense workout plans. Like there's a lot of stuff that is similar to this that you may see all around. So yes, I'm talking about this one in particular, but a lot of the things that we'll talk about today can kind of be applied to other areas as well. And I just wanted to mention that I am streaming live right now, both on the podcast and on Facebook. So if anybody comes in and has some comments or questions or anything, I might respond to those. So just a prior warning. Now, I wanted to start by going over what 75 Hard is. Okay, so I'm going to read it out to you. I've got the list here, and then we're going to go through each of those and kind of, think through it and ask ourselves, does this sound reasonable? Okay, so this is 75 Hard. Basically, it's a challenge that you do every single day for 75 days. It was created by this guy. I did not remember his name, but basically the whole point of it is to be able to prove to yourself that you can do something that's very challenging for 75 days. Okay? So I'm going to read through the rules. So the first one we've got here is absolutely no alcohol, no cheats, no compromise. Consume 1 standard gallon of water, and these are your daily tasks. Okay? Water only, literally. Don't add anything else. Perform 2 daily workouts, minimum of 45 minutes each, spaced no less than 3 hours apart. 1 must be outdoors, no matter the weather. Self-developmental reading, active reading, 10 pages, take notes. Follow a diet, any diet. Print it out, hang it up, do not deviate, not even once. Daily progress picture. Any deviation at all, and you must start over from day 1. Okay. So have a think about that. Think about how that sounds. So that's going to be every single day. You're doing all 5 of these tasks. Okay. It's not a ton of tasks, but the tasks that are involved, not necessarily all of them, but some of them, can be pretty daunting. So I wanted to go over a few things here. So let's just go through them in order. So the first one again, the absolutely no alcohol, no cheats, no compromise. That in itself is a very dangerous mindset to get into and to put yourself in. When you have that amount of strict restriction on yourself, it is very difficult either to stick to it, and you will have to be restarting this challenge basically every week because it's very difficult to stick to, Or even if you do make it through the 75 days without veering, at the end of the 75 days, you will have been restricted for so long that you are very, very likely to binge because you see that light at the end of the tunnel, right? Every day you're working towards this for 75 days, and you know that once you get to the end, you're done and you can do whatever you want. And even if you intend to keep doing this at the end, like usually when you go into something like this, you don't plan on going crazy once you finish, right? You usually intend on, taking what you learned from this and keeping a lot of it in your life. Now, unfortunately, that's not always the case, especially when it comes to extreme restriction. And this is something that I have experienced firsthand many times with my bodybuilding competitions, because during the prep for bodybuilding, you're not eating very many calories for a long time, right? Definitely longer than 75 days. And at the end of it, even when I have the mindset of when I'm at the end of this, I'm not going to binge, I'm not going to go crazy, I'm just going to ease into it. It's not necessarily in your conscious control. A lot of times it's either your body telling you we are deprived, we need more. And once you have that little bit of flexibility and leeway, you may go a little bit overboard. And then it also comes to the subconscious thoughts there too, right? I've been restricting this for so long, and now all of a sudden I have freedom. I can do whatever I want. And then you'll just go for absolutely everything that you didn't have during that period of time. So that mindset in itself of, for this period of time, I'm going to 100% cut out all of these different things, no balance there. It's 100%, there are no, I can't think of the word, but there's no way that you can veer off of it. Okay. And you just have to do it. That is a very dangerous mindset to get into. So that is probably my biggest issue with this challenge in particular, is that you have so much that you have to do for so many days in a row, and there's so much restriction there. And yes, you can absolutely make it through this, but I really do think that at the end of it, it's just been so much for so long that there's a lot of stuff going on underneath that you may be pushing down, right? And then by the time you have that freedom again, you're just going to go crazy. Okay. So that is the first one that is standing out to me that I have a bit of an issue with. Okay. Then we've got the next one, not so bad. Drink a gallon of water every day. I'm okay with that. Water only, literally don't add anything else. This is honestly pretty similar to my recommendation for water, which is 2 to 3 liters of water, not quite the 4 liters for a gallon. That's a lot of water, but it's not unreasonable. I've definitely had periods in my life where I'm regularly drinking 4 liters of water, and it's pretty normal for me. And I also agree with the not adding anything to your water as much as you can, but I don't like that it's so strict again, right? If you one day, I don't know, for instance, right now we're on a boil water advisory, so we have to boil our water and filter it. And even after that, it still tastes horrible. So I've been adding stuff to my water to make it taste better. So what happens if you're in that situation during 75 hard? Does your day now not count because you've added something to make your water taste better, right? So again, when we have such strict rules, it starts to take away balance and away nuance, right? You're not learning how to incorporate these tasks into your life because there is so much restriction around them, right? So again, at the end of this, you may have learned something, absolutely, you for sure can take something from this, and you may have incorporated some of these into your life. But there's definitely a way to go about it that's not as extreme that will probably help you incorporate these into your life way easier than trying to do something like this, right? Like just starting this is so much. Like there's so much to do. That's another thing about this is it's not beginner friendly. It's not something that somebody can just like jump into and immediately be like pretty easy to do, right? Like it is challenging. Like there's a lot to it. And I think, for sure there are some people who can do it and good for them. That's amazing. But they're the minority, right? The majority of people who try to do something like this, I'm sure it's just going to be super discouraging to them. Because you're going to start to do this. You might do it for 3 or 4 days and you're feeling amazing and you're doing all these things and you're feeling confident. And then something happens, because life happens, and you have to restart. And then you try to do it and it's just not going. And eventually you give up on it. And giving up on something does not feel good, right? It doesn't feel good to give up on something that you really, really wanted to do. And then you're going to feel disappointed in yourself. You're going to feel like you're not the type of person who can do that. And that's just not how you want to feel, right? You want something that you can do, that you can continue doing, and you can continue feeling proud of yourself for. And that's why I don't like challenges that are so hard, because for the majority of people, it's just going to make them feel terrible because they try to do it and then they can't, and then they feel bad about that. Whereas why don't we come up with challenges that people can actually do so that they can actually enjoy themselves and actually, like follow along and actually have, things that they can be proud of themselves for. Like, it bothers me. Okay. It bothers me. We want it to be something that people can actually do. And I don't know, I feel like it's almost something that like all those people who can do things like this and have done things like this, I feel like it, again, just feels very like they can do it, but I can't do it, and there's something wrong with me type of thing. And I'd rather do something that I'm like, okay, that seems reasonable. That seems like something I can do. And then I'm doing it. And then I feel proud of myself. And then that pushes me to keep going, right? Something that like the average person could do. Because something like this makes you feel like it's reserved for a specific type of person, right? So yeah, anyways, there's even more, my friends. There's even more. So we've only gotten through the first one. The second one here is 2 daily workouts. That, I'm sure you all know that that's not healthy, right? You shouldn't be working out more than 5 days a week unless you are, a professional athlete who has a team working with them and your nutrition is on point, your recovery is on point. Somebody's making your training schedule so that everything lines up. That is not the majority of people. People shouldn't be working out twice a day. Okay, like maybe if you want to do, a 45-minute workout at the gym and then a 45-minute walk later in the day, totally. Yeah, that's totally doable. But 7 days a week, every single day for 75 days is way too much. Your body gets 0 time to recover, and your body needs time to recover in order to get any benefit from those workouts. So if you're working out 75 days straight and you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to change your body composition, that's just not going to happen. You'll probably lose weight doing this, but you're probably going to lose some muscle mass too. And most of the time, if you're looking to get toned and have that lean physique, that's going to come from not losing weight, because weight, it could be fat, could be water, could be muscle, which we don't want to lose. You want to build muscle and lose fat. And in order to build muscle, you don't want to work out more than 5 days a week. 3 days a week, maybe 4 days a week is a good place to aim, lift heavy, right? And have enough food and have obviously plenty of water, plenty of sleep, and recovery time between your workouts. That is so important. You're not going to be able to put on muscle if you're not getting your time to recover, because that recovery time is when your body's actually repairing all of that damage to your muscle tissue, right? So this is probably, again, one of my biggest beefs with this is that they're making you work out twice a day, every single day for 75 days. That's not going to get you the results that you want. Do less and you will get better results. Okay. I'm sure you guys can agree with me on that one. It's frustrating. Next one is actually a good one. I'm okay with this, which is the reading for self-development. So reading like a self-help book or, something that's nonfiction, motivational, something that gets you feeling good, gets you learning, gets you wanting to improve your life, things like that. And I like that. And it's 10 pages, which is not unreasonable at all. But again, combined with all these other things, it's just a lot. Now, if you wanted to start doing this, I would probably just do that and just add that one thing into your daily routine. So that is the one thing you're focusing on every day is reading a bit of your book, right? Not necessarily combined with everything else. Like if you're already doing everything else, sure. But, adding in all of these things all at once when you may not be doing any of them is just so much. Okay. Then, of course, we have following a diet, and they don't specifically say which diet. And again, you don't know what kind of diet somebody's going to follow, and they're doing 2 workouts a day. Are they getting in enough food? If you're working out 2 times a day, you probably shouldn't be following a diet. You should be probably eating a lot more food than you normally do in order to sustain your 2 freaking workouts a day, right? It's problematic. It's problematic, my friends. And also, you don't need to follow a diet. If you want to improve your nutrition, we've talked about this before. It's not about following a specific diet plan, but more so making changes to your diet, to how you eat, that really make sense in your own life, right? You want to be prioritizing protein. You want to be prioritizing vegetables. You want to make sure you have enough fat in your diet and enough carbs in your diet because your body needs all of them. And so many diets out there completely ignore this, and they're just about losing as much weight. Again, doesn't care where the weight comes from. They're just all about losing as much weight as possible. And if you were just to, start this 75 hard challenge and see that one of the things is to follow a diet, and you just Google and you just say weight loss diet or whatever, the first probably 100 diets that are going to come up for you are not going to be healthy diets. They're not going to be things that are actually going to support and sustain this kind of lifestyle that you're trying to live for these next 75 days. So, again, another one that is quite problematic. And then finally, we have the daily progress photo. Now, I'm all about progress photos. I love progress photos. I think they're such a good way of seeing your progress, especially, with my clients. A lot of the times we're doing a reverse diet and we're working on increasing the weights in the gym and working on building up muscle mass and changing their body composition, right? And a lot of those changes are not going to be seen on a scale, right? The scale is likely to not really change much, especially when you're putting on muscle and losing fat at roughly the same time. But you will see pretty significant changes in your progress photos. Now, daily progress photos, honestly, I don't understand why they want you taking them every single day. Maybe just to have another thing on the list, but really you could probably do a photo at the beginning and a photo at the end, or maybe once a week, or maybe once every 2 weeks, or maybe once a month. You don't need to take a photo every single day. I don't get it. You're not going to see changes in a day. You barely see changes in a week. It's really when you get to the month to month that you start seeing changes happening. So I just don't get it. I don't think there's much wrong with it. I don't know. Unless you're trying to compare your photos to each other every single day and expecting to see changes. Hopefully it could promote that behavior, honestly. But yeah. Now, something that I also wanted to compare this to. So I've done lots of bodybuilding shows, and most people think of bodybuilding and preparing for a bodybuilding show as something that is very intense, right? Something that requires a lot of dedication and a lot of time, and it's just like very, very strict, right? So in comparison to this, I would say that this is a lot more difficult than bodybuilding prep, which is insane. And this is geared towards regular people. This is not geared towards competitors or athletes. This is geared towards regular people. So when I was doing my bodybuilding prep, I worked out 4 to 5 times a week. Closer to my show, I did have cardio every day for 45 minutes to an hour. That's still less than 75 hard. Yes, I followed a diet. I did have a couple days, like Christmas dinner, maybe a birthday here and there, maybe, going out for dinner here and there, maybe only a few days throughout my whole bodybuilding prep, but there were still some days that I went off plan, and that was okay, right? That was planned ahead of time, and I did not do any self-development reading. I definitely listened to podcasts and did some journaling, but again, not strictly. And I took progress photos once a week. I did drink a lot of water. So that's wild to me that this is more difficult than bodybuilding prep. That's insane. Nobody needs to be doing that. I have a lot of thoughts, my friends. I have a lot of thoughts. Okay, so now that we've talked a lot about 75 hard, I want to let you know what I would do, how I would change this to be more approachable, to be something that more people could actually do and keep doing and feel good about themselves for, and actually get something long-term out of it, and most importantly, avoid that coming out of the challenge binge, kind of going crazy, kind of freedom. Oh my God, we're unrestricted. We're gonna figure out a way to do that without getting that, right? We want to be able to do something for 75 days that we can continue doing, and it just makes sense. So I have come up with my own version because I was thinking about doing this podcast, right? And I had all these thoughts, and I was like, these are all the things that I would change about it in order to make it better. And then I thought, wait a minute, why don't I just take all those things and just make my own challenge out of it? And then I had more ideas, and it has grown and flourished into this year's summer challenge, which is called 75 Balanced. Okay, let's go over the similarities first, okay? So, first similarity, it is 75 days, and it is a challenge. Cool. We're good there. Second similarity, there are daily tasks to complete. Okay, there we go. Third similarity, you are drinking water. That is one of the tasks. Okay. You are going to have workouts, although I'm actually going to make them for you, so even better. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, going outside. That's important. I still like that. Okay, so there's a few similarities here. So a few of the big things that I wanted to change, right? The biggest one to me, which is why it's 75 balanced, is that I wanted it to be a challenge that didn't have so much restriction, right? You didn't have to follow it every single day, because that's the biggest thing, is trying to do all these things every single day it's a lot. So what we're doing with 75 Balanced is your checklist. You aim to do them every single day, right? But you can miss one day. If one day, let's say in the week, let's say you do 3 days where you've done really, really well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday comes along and something was off that day and you didn't quite reach everything that you wanted to do that day. That's okay. You just get right back to it Friday, keep going, and you're good to go. Okay? So if in your week you miss 1 day, maybe 2 days, as long as they're not in a row, you're good. It still counts. You do not have to forfeit and restart from the beginning. Okay? And you can do this multiple times. It's not like you only get 1 day in the whole 75 days, right? So you can do this as many times as you want. You could literally do like every other day if you wanted to, but I would suggest aiming to do as many as you can. And if you have something come up, whatever, you can take another day. Okay? So that's the first thing that I have changed about this. Another thing that I've changed about it is, well, everything that you do. So I'm going to let you know, which I haven't talked about this yet, not even the people who I sent out the private invites to, they haven't heard this yet. So ready? Let's go over what we're going to do every day. So there are 6 things on your checklist, and each day for your day to count, you can do 5 out of 6 of them. So you don't have to do every single one, but if you do 5 out of 6, we're at about 80%, and your day is going to count. Okay? So here's what they are. So like I said, there's water involved. So we're drinking 3 liters or 100 ounces of water. You do that, that's one of your items checked off. Number 2, 10 minutes of mindfulness. Now, this can be whatever it is for you, right? It could be reading a book. It could be having a bath and just like no distractions. Could be going for a mindful walk. Again, no distractions, no music, no podcast, just a walk with you in nature. It could be meditation, could be journaling, could be gratitude, affirmations, whatever it is that you want to do for your mindfulness practice, that's yours. Okay? We got 10 minutes outside because we all know sunshine is good for the soul. It's good to get outside. We like being outside. And again, if it's a like nasty day outside and you don't want to go outside, just do the other 5 and your day still counts. Okay? 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sleep is massively important for so many things. So we're going to be prioritizing sleep here. Okay? 2 balanced meals every day. Balanced means, as we've talked about on this podcast before, protein source, healthy fat, fibrous carb, and fruit or veggie. So 2 of your meals, I don't know how many meals you're eating in a day, but 2 of them, if they're balanced, we're good to go. Okay? And finally, 6,000 steps. Now, I know you see the 10,000 step goal kind of everywhere, but there's been a lot more like the actual research is coming out and the benefits kind of like, they're really high when I'm trying to picture the graph in my head. They're really high around like the 6,000 mark, and they're quite a bit lower below that. And then once you kind of get upwards of 6,000, they don't increase that much. So as long as you're getting like 6,000 steps or above, you're getting all the health benefits from it. So if you've noticed, I'm not sure if I've actually talked about my 5 pillars of health before, but my 5 pillars of health are nutrition. Okay, so that's going to be our balanced meals. Fitness, which is going to be your steps, and we also have some workout programs involved with this too on top of this. Exciting things. Okay, sleep, which is involved here. Water, involved here. And mindfulness, or some sort of thing for your brain, which is also involved here. So we've got our 5 pillars of health covered. And all that means is we're focusing on the main areas of your health that all work together in order to get you feeling amazing and really just like optimizing everything. If you've got all of these 5 areas covered, you will see so many positive changes happening everywhere in your life. So that is the gist of the challenge. Now, you can obviously do this without me, right? You could just, I'm going to be sharing this at some point, like the checklist. So you could for sure do this every day for 75 days, check off everything. And then when you're done, just celebrate, and it's amazing. So you can absolutely just take this and do it yourself. Now, if you want to join us, we are starting June 20th, and there are a few other exciting things going on besides just following this challenge that I've created. Okay, so first of all, there's going to be a grand prize of a $150 gift card to Lululemon, which is super exciting. Everybody, well, I love Lululemon, and I know basically all of my clients love Lululemon. All of my friends love Lululemon. So, and sometimes we just don't buy it for ourselves and we don't splurge on ourselves. So here's a chance to get yourself a gift card to Lululemon, get something super cute, and just feel real good. So that's kind of one of the big incentives to join. A couple other things that we have going on is we're going to have a private Facebook group. So everybody who's involved in the challenge gets to be a part of the Facebook group. So you can post in there if you have any questions, anything that you want to learn from me, anything that's going on, if you want me to like look at your squats and give you some feedback, you can post that in there. If you want to take a picture of your meal and be like, hey, does this look balanced? Is there anything I can change with this? If you want some recipe ideas, if you just want to like share a selfie of you like outside for your walk, just celebrating whatever's going on that day and feeling good. So that's going to be a big part of this, is the private Facebook community where you can get support, you can ask questions, and you can start to learn some stuff that you may not have known before. And there's also going to be a few coaching calls. So there's for sure going to be the kickoff call June 20th at 6:30. That's just where we're going to go over everything. We're going to make sure everybody's ready to go. They all understand what's going on. And you're going in, you're set, you know what's going on, you're feeling prepared. And also just because it's going to be fun and just like get the vibes going, get people excited, all those fun things. And there's going to be some trainings kind of sporadically throughout, kind of depending on where everybody's at, what's going on, just to kind of keep the vibe going, keep people going, because I know from personal experience that there's always a point, kind of like that 4 to 6 week mark, where we tend to like something happens and then we like fall off track of whatever we're doing. So we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. We're going to have a scheduled call around that time to, talk about how we get through things like that, how we keep going, how we get, back on track type of thing. So we've got all of that planned. Oh, and you also get a workout program, which is going to be super fun. So that's another part of this. So I'm designing 2 workout programs, a beginner program and an intermediate program. These are both going to be 12-week programs. So you can start it a week early if you want to, because 75 days ends up being about 11 weeks. So we got an extra week of workouts in there. So with those ones, there'll be a beginner and intermediate, both in the gym. The beginner one, you'll start off with dumbbells and body weight, kind of get used to the movements, the main movement patterns, and getting comfortable in the gym with what you're doing. And then towards the end, you'll start learning how to do barbell workouts. And then the intermediate one is going to be pretty similar to my workouts that I often post. They're both going to be full body, 3 days a week. So you should be able to fit that into your schedule. Now, I haven't created a home workout program for this yet, because most people I have been talking to about this are gym workout people. But if we get in some people who are wanting to work out at home, I can absolutely make a home version as well. So so on top of, doing the daily tasks, we've got the workouts involved. And then I wanted to briefly go over how the points work. Okay. It was interesting trying to come up with this, right? Because I wanted to come up with a point system that was not like you get a point for every task you do, or you get a point for every day you complete, or for every workout you do, because I really wanted to get away from that all or nothing mindset, right? Because I'm sure there's a lot of you that if I would have given you a point for every single thing that you did and you really wanted to win, you would just do as much as possible, right? And then that kind of gets us back to that all or nothing mindset where we're just going so crazy for so long and so hard that by the time we get to the end, we're just like, okay, I'm done. I just need to like take a break, right? So we're going to try to work on getting out of that all or nothing mindset, right? So point system works like this. So every week we're going to tally up the points. We're going to have a leaderboard and we're going to see like first, second, third, based on the points. So every week you can get 10 points, 7 for each day of the week. So let's say you hit 5 out of 6 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. You would still get 7 points because remember, we're allowed to miss one day as long as it's not 2 days missed in a row. Okay? So if you hit 5 out of 6 tasks on some days in the week, never more than one missed, then you get 7 points. You get another point for doing 2 out of 3 workouts. I know 3 is still not that difficult to hit, but we want to give ourselves some flexibility here. We're programmed for 3, but some weeks, life happens. So if you get 2 workouts out of 3 or 3 workouts, that's a point. Okay? You get a point for posting in the Facebook group, and you get a point for replying / hyping up your other ladies in the Facebook group. So each week you can get a total of 10 points. We'll tally them up. We will keep track of the leaderboard and we're good. So for keeping track of the points, you get to be in my app. I will put everything in there for you. All you got to do is check off everything that you do and I will tally up the points for you. So don't worry if that seems like a lot. I will basically keep track of everything for you. So yeah. And I think that is basically the gist of the challenge. Now, if you do join, again, we'll go over everything in more detail on our kickoff call. You'll be able to ask questions and kind of get everything organized. So for those of you who are listening either live or today is Friday, June 3rd. So you have until the end of this weekend to claim some bonuses. Okay. So if you join the challenge, you will get a few bonuses here. Okay. So I have this written down because I don't want to forget. So you will get a free nutrition audit with me to use before we start the challenge. So that's a pretty exciting one. And that's valued at $222, which you're not even paying that much to join this challenge. So you're getting something for free that is valued even more than what you're paying. Super good deal there. So the nutrition audit, basically you're just going to either track your food for a week or take pictures of your food for a week, just so I can get an idea of how you normally eat. We'll hop on a call and we'll go through how you normally eat and see if there's any tweaks or adjustments that you need to make moving forward, just to kind of make sure your nutrition is really on point and of course works for you and your lifestyle. So that is one thing that you will be getting as a bonus if you sign up for 75 Balanced. This weekend, you have until midnight Sunday to get in. And the other thing you'll be getting is if you have a friend who you think might want to join this for you, you can do a buddy pass. Okay, so each of you will get $20 off the total price. So you just use the code BUDDY. So you and your friend sign up with the code BUDDY and you will get an extra $20 off. Okay. So I'm very excited. So again, these only last until the end of this weekend. Come Monday, we're going into public launch. So technically, you guys on the podcast and in my Facebook group are the only ones who know all the details about this challenge, plus my private invited peoples. So come Monday, the price will still be the same, but there is no more Buddy Pass and no more free nutrition audit. So I would highly recommend getting in as soon as you can so that you can really claim those prizes and get started, get excited. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. I've gone so much into like what all of this is, but I kind of want to come back around to the whole point of this. So it's not just my response to 75 hard, right? The whole point of this challenge, again, why it's called 75 balanced, is to teach you how to live a healthy life while incorporating it into everything else that you have going on, right? And I've specifically chosen the summer to do this one because I know that during the summer is usually when we're the most busy, when we have the most stuff going on, when we have vacations planned, when we have camping weekends planned, when we have company coming around, when we're going to weddings, right? There is so much going on in the summer that I want you to learn how to be able to enjoy your summer while still working on your health. Because it's really easy to get into that mindset of, either you're doing a challenge to get ready for the summer so that you've got your bikini bod for the summer, and then summer comes around and you're like, okay, we're good. And then you just kind of feel like you just do whatever, right? You just go with the flow. You're just like, I'm just going to enjoy it. And sometimes that mindset is great, right? Sometimes you're genuinely just enjoying things. And sometimes we can also go a little bit overboard. So I wanted to show you how you can still enjoy your summer. You can still do family events. You can still host people. You can still go to weddings. You can still go on vacation while focusing on your health, right? So let's take an example of you're going to a wedding, right? And you want to hit these 6 tasks, right? So you're definitely going to plan to not have your workout this day, probably. You've got 6 other days in the week that you can add on your workout, okay? Maybe the wedding's outside. There you go. You already have your 10 minutes outside. Easy peasy. That one's honestly probably going to be the easiest in the summer. Who doesn't want to be outside during the summer, right? Let's say another one is 2 balanced meals. You don't get to choose what's being served to you at the wedding, but it probably is going to have some veggies. It's probably going to have some protein and some healthy fat and some fibrous carbs. So there you go, balanced meal. Just make sure you have another one at some other point during the day, right? Make sure you have some water. There's probably going to be water around, right? You can bring your water bottle. You can, if you are drinking alcohol, this is what I do. I either drink water every other drink. I'll have water instead of alcohol, or I'll just drink it at the same time. Like I'll have a sip of water, sip the alcohol. You know me and my water, right? 6,000 steps. You're dancing. Take advantage of the dance floor, right? If you have a watch, we're dancing around. That's going to attract steps, okay? Dance it out. You'll get your 6,000 steps. You'll be golden. And if you're partying it up and having a good time, I am sure that you are going to need to sleep after, right? I'm sure you can sleep for 9, 10, 11 hours after a fun night like that, right? And, maybe you don't want to do your 10 minutes of mindfulness. Maybe you can do it in the morning. Maybe you can take a 10-minute break to yourself. You only have to do 5 out of 6 of them for your day to count, right? So that's why I've created this in a way that you can still do it no matter what you have going on. And if you can learn how to incorporate these healthy tasks into your everyday life during such a busy and not super planned time like the summer, it's going to be so easy come September when we finish this challenge to bring these into your regular everyday life, right? So if you ever think like, I'd love to do that challenge, but definitely not during the summer because I have so much going on, just know that that is the point. That is the point of this challenge being during the summer, okay? So that is all I have for you for today. I have linked the link to sign up for the challenge below. So feel free to click the link, sign up, get yourself in there, try to get in before Sunday so you can take advantage of those bonuses for you. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to answer your questions. Yes, even on the weekend, this weekend, just because I know you're all going to be taking advantage of this sale. So I will have my eye out for you. Yeah. Ooh, and it's my first ever powerlifting competition tomorrow. Wish me luck. I will keep you all updated on my Instagram and Facebook, so make sure you're following me over there if you want to, see what's happening during tomorrow's competition. I'm not looking to make any records or anything, even personal records. It's just going to be a fun day. Definitely looking forward to it. Yee! Okay. Well, that is all I have for you all. I will be seeing quite a few of you soon in the challenge. Thank you so much for listening in today. I'm so incredibly grateful that you took the time out of your day to listen and to support my podcast. If you're ready to feel the best you've ever felt, I would absolutely love to work with you. I have quite a few offers available, from nutrition audits to teaching you how to design your own workouts to group and private one-on-one coaching. Be sure to check out the link in the show notes or go to linktree/AllieDoss. So that's linktr.ee/ALYDAWS to see what I have available right now. I love chatting with you, so don't hesitate to email or reach out on Instagram if you have any questions whatsoever. Have an incredible week, my friend, and we will chat soon.